Good afternoon, everybody. I know we talked after the game. Everybody that's with us today, and so I know we had a chance to kind of rehash that as it was fresh. But again, still very excited about the victory on Saturday and the opportunity to have a chance to win the CIC trophy in December. Obviously, that's several weeks away, but it's a big game. It's a big win. It's a tremendous rivalry, and it was a really, really hard fought game, and just so proud of our players, how they persevered. And we had a lead and relinquished it and just found a way, and some great individual plays. Some guys had some great individual efforts, and both quarterbacks played really well. Certainly Isaiah Alston and Tyrell Robinson had big days with the football. Cade Barnard on offense played really tough, really well. And then defensively, right up the middle, Nolan Cockrell and Eric Smith just played really good football games. Andre Carter made that big play over there to tip the throwback to the quarterback, and then Jabari Moore finishing it off with a great play at the end. So just some guys that really battled and made some great efforts. Zach Harding hit that big punt that buried them down in deep territory. I mean, just quietly, there were some guys that maybe didn't get talked about a whole lot after the game, but made a big difference in the game. And so really proud to win. It's great for the institution and to represent the United States Army against our other branches of service, and the source of pride that it is for them. So a great win. Now we move on to playing Bucknell here at home. We're glad to be returning back to Mikey Stadium. We got a couple of games in a row here, and I love playing at home, and it's great to be back here and have an opportunity to play for bowl eligibility this week.
We'll start off with Rich DeMarco.
Jeff, how much of a challenge is it coming off an emotional win like you had on Saturday and then focusing for the next game after?
I think it's very difficult. It is such a physically draining game, not only because because of the competition, and it was a physical football game, both sides, but emotionally that just drains a human being. And anytime we go through something that's really emotional, we feel drained, we feel tired, and it is a challenge to get back up and get rolling again. I mean, it's our job as coaches to get our guys ready, and it's the professionalism of our players individually that they've got to get themselves prepared and refocused on trying to get better and improve. And that's really our message to them, and going to be our focus for our team throughout this week, is to try to work to get better. There were a lot of things on Saturday that we could have done a lot better, and just fundamental things that we failed at, and assignments that were missed, and we can't allow that to happen. So we got to work hard to correct those things and hopefully play our best football game of the year this week.
Hey, Jeff, about the opportunity this week and these next couple of weeks for your seniors and the chance to share their talents one more time at Mikey Stadium here, two more times in front of the home fans. How excited are you? You mentioned it already, to play at home in front of the fans. How excited are you to have fans, to be able to do this here back at Mikey?
I hope we'll have great crowds for these last couple of games. It's certainly a beautiful time at West Point. I don't know if there's a prettier place in America right now than West Point, New York, with all the leaves changing in the fall of the year, the temperature like it is. It's just perfect football weather, and a beautiful time to visit the Hudson Valley and West Point. So I like I said, I hope we'll have a big crowd and be able to send these guys off as they deserve, with just a great appreciation from our fans, and I know they're excited to have this opportunity to play at home and be in front of a home crowd, and their parents and their classmates to be able to watch them. So again, this isn't the last game of the year. It's not the last game at home, but certainly I know our guys want to take advantage of the opportunity to play here at Mikey Stadium.
Thanks, Coach.
Charles Grievous.
Good afternoon, Coach. As you stated in your in your opening comment, a huge win on so many levels on Saturday, but also a timely win at that. If there were one or two adjectives that you would say best describes the win on Saturday versus Air Force, along with just the vibe around the program, what would those couple of adjectives be?
Uh, Personally, relief. When you pour everything into a game like that, and you finally come out victorious, you're just relieved. I'm relieved to not have to live through the agony of losing it. It is agonizing to lose those games, and so I'm thankful that we found a way. But I think our guys are just they're just confident about who we are as a team, and it didn't take the game Saturday for us to have that confidence. I think just a really good, strong group of guys. They're really tough. I think we got a tough football team, and Saturday didn't qualify that. I thought that before we went into the game, and I still think that come out of the game. We played a tough team, and found a way to win. But that gives a team confidence, and it certainly was due. We hadn't won a game in 6 weeks. It'd been since September 25th, so 2 bye weeks in there, and 3 games, and that's a long time to go without feeling that elation of victory. And it was awesome. What a great celebration in the locker room.
Fantastic. And talk about confidence. You know, some programs would be and actually hesitate to have a game plan around 2 quarterbacks. But when needed, you've actually utilized 3 in 1 game. However, on Saturday, it was Anderson and Tyler. Can you talk about this combo when it comes to how they graded out as you utilized them in different situations relative to Saturday's contest?
I thought they both did a really good job throwing the ball and running the ball. Obviously, we threw it more with Christian, but Tyre had a really nice throw on the boot play to Tyrell Robinson there. They both had runs that were really tough down there on the goal line. The opening score for Tyre, I mean, he found a way to get out of that tackle. He got a little help from Mason Kolinchak and got into the end zone. And then the touchdown in overtime that Booby scored, it was a great run by Christian. I mean, he broke a tackle at the 4-yard line, and their kid made a tremendous play to rip the ball out right there at the goal line. And good thing Booby was hustling and got there and fell on it. But it was a really strong run. And of course, Christian has had his bout with that injury that he got back in September. And you know, just finally, I think, felt a little bit more like himself, and he was running more confidently, and just we were just more sure with him carrying the football on Saturday. We had some new things that we did, some new wrinkles, and those helped us. And I thought both of those guys handled that really well.
Thanks, Coach.
Ken McMillan.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the win. You've had plenty of wins here at West Point during your tenure. I don't know if you're a big fan of list or not, but where does this victory in the significance rank in your Army days?
It's hard to list them. There's been some big wins, and that was certainly a big one. I don't know where it would. I'm not into the rankings. I mean, there's winning the CIC trophy for the first time in 22 years, a few years ago, breaking the streak that had long been set by the guys down in Maryland, and kind of, you know, a first in a long time there. The bowl wins, the bowl win over San Diego State, and you know, scoring that 2-point conversion. There's been some great wins here, and that one Saturday was a great win. To battle that team, and both teams fighting as hard as they could for a chance to take home the trophy, and so when you play a hard fought game like that against a good team, and one that's in a rivalry, and both teams are really battling hard to take home the spoils of victory, I mean, it was awesome. So yeah, you're right, Ken. I don't rank them, but it was a big win for sure.
Yeah. Your team relies on winning time of possession, rushing yards, things like that. Well, you didn't win those battles on Saturday statistically. So what does this say about your team that you were able to overcome and switch things up to find success?
Well, that's an important stat for us, certainly, to run the ball and stop the run. And they ran for more yards than we did, and give them credit. But we won in other areas. We didn't turn the ball over, and the one turnover we got was certainly a big play. It was down in the red zone, and that was a big play. We try to win the kicking game, and though we missed that kick, which was critical, just the hidden yardage and punting the ball and average starting field position, I think that was an area where we maybe had just a few yards advantage. And sometimes it just takes a few yards of advantage to win a game. And we got the ball down on the goal line and got it in there first and goal, and we scored. We got it in to the end zone. And, that last drive, we were able to keep them out of the end zone. Those were big plays, but, they had a slight advantage on third down, which I also think is a big stat. They were better on third down. Their average rush was 3.5. Ours was 2.5. And by most defensive standards, that's pretty good when you're holding the team to, less than 4 yards a rush, but not in this game. And we gotta keep them, held to less than that if we can. They certainly did against us, but the play average for they had I don't know, 15 more plays than we had or so, and we averaged just a little bit more per play than they did. So it was a very well contested football game, and the statistics only tell part of the story. But when you dive into those, there's things on both sides. Both teams gained some advantages in I think the critical areas. And the bottom line is just we were just fortunate to make another play, and our guys were just just resilient enough to hang in there and give ourselves a chance at the end. And I'm glad we won. That's a team we desperately want to beat every time we play them.
And then Jeff, just looking back and looking forward here, participation numbers were kind of on the low side. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but you're playing a Bucknell team that's struggling this year. If you guys get out to a decent lead this weekend, how important is it to get your backups and your third stringers in, just to keep them sharp and give them some experience?
I hope we can play good enough to win the game, and whatever that takes, that's what we're going to do. And I've been around here long enough to know that my first year or second year, whenever, I guess my second year, we had to make a circus catch over the top of a Bucknell defender to win the football game. So we're going to try to improve and get better as a football team, and hopefully play the best game we've played so far. And I hope that'll be good enough to beat Bucknell.
Thanks, Jeff.
Ken Kreitzer.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. Just talking about Bucknell. They have the one win over Cornell this year, 205 yards offense per game. What do you see in Bucknell? What are some things that you know when you look at the film?
Well, we're early in the game planning process. Obviously, we had just a little bit of time last night. Sundays, we spend most of it looking at the film from the day before, going out on the practice field and doing error correction. We get into a little bit of game planning, but today's been really our offensive, defensive coaches and special teams coach the chance to really dive into them. They got guys on scholarship too, and I will assure you that we got guys on our team that weren't offered scholarships by Bucknell and other teams in that league. So it's not like we can run around feeling like we're this way more talented team. They got good players on their team, and they got good coaches, and we're going to prepare and hope to be good enough on Saturday. I noticed initially they don't get penalized. So it tells me they're a very disciplined team. They don't fumble the ball. Again, a team that takes care of the ball. They've got some interceptions that have increased their turnovers, but likely they've been in some games where they've been behind. They probably had to throw it more than they maybe wanted to. But they don't turn the ball over by fumbling. They don't commit penalties. And so it's a disciplined football team. And that tells me they're well coached and they're going to be prepared. And we're going to have to be just on top of our game and play the best we can play.
And Coach, just looking at the stats from Saturday on defense, the linebackers played really well. Andre Carter, 8 tackles, Eric Smith, 8, Malcolm Morrison, 7, and Kamonte Yao got in and made 6. Maybe describe the impact of your linebackers on defense Saturday.
They're a good group, along with Malcolm Morrison, who plays to the field side there. He's obviously more of a DB type body, but all 3 of those guys play well. And our linebackers are well coached, and Coach Braswell coaches the inside backers, Coach Luce the outside backers, and I think Coach Woody does a great job of putting those guys in position with his calls and his scheme. Andre's just having a great year. He's a very talented player, and getting another sack on Saturday, he's just added to his total. And Eric Smith is one of the best defensive football players in the country. I really believe that. He's an outstanding tackler. He processes things very quickly. He can get people to the ground when he gets his hands on them. I just think he's a really good player. And Kamonte Yao, I was so proud of him. It's the first start of his career. He's in his home state. He's from DeSoto, Texas. So to go back home and play in front of his family and certain high school coaches and friends, and that game Saturday is a game for Kamonte Yao to be in there. And he's defended that offense for now 5 years, the prep school, and 4 years here, and he does a really good job with it. He sees things in that offense and is able to react. Not a lot of experience, not having been in there, and there were a few times where that showed up, but I thought he did a really nice job. So pleased with that group. We're trying to keep them healthy and continue on through the season.
He's standing out on offense Saturday. The last couple of weeks has been Isaiah Alston. He's got 14 catches in the year, 10 in the last 2 games. The defenses really have to plan for him, and that's got to help in opening up the running game a little bit.
I'm not sure it opens up the run game. Watching our team and the way people defend us, I'm not comparing receivers here, but when I was at Georgia Tech, we had Demarius Thomas, Bebe Thomas, and he'd get single coverage all game long. But it's just because defenses had to do that in order to defend the run, and it's hard. It's hard not to. I mean, we faced some great receivers. There were some good receivers on that team for the other team on Saturday, and it's hard for us to double cover guys. You got to have enough guys, and the run fits, and that's frankly what gives people fits, defending the offense. And so certainly having a talented receiver, and I think Isaiah is very talented. It does help. It helps the fact that we have another guy that we can get the ball to, and we know that he's going to a lot of times have single coverage, and he's got to make plays when the ball's in the air, and he's done a pretty good job of that. He's maturing, he's growing, and he's getting better and stronger, and he's got to become a complete player. And we've talked about that before, just everything he does, blocking and great effort and physical, and he's getting proven. He's getting better week in and week out. He's getting better as a receiver, and that's been showing up too.
Thanks, Coach.
Ken McMillan.
Jeff, I mean, from a TV perspective, it looked like you guys came out without any serious injuries. Is that true? And if so, how does that, do you come out of a game when you're not getting dinged up just feeling like, oh, thank God.
I'm relieved every time a guy that's a starter comes out of a game and he's not hurt. I'm relieved after practice. I go to the training room every day after practice and I talk to the athletic training staff and ask them, what happened that day. We have anybody, and I'm always breathing a sigh of relief when we come out of it clean. So it was a physical football game, and we are very fortunate that we didn't have anybody that got knocked out or came out of it that we don't feel will be ready for this weekend.
I wanted to ask you, this is a more of a depth question. The, Maurice Ballon, Cade they haven't seen a lot of action at quarterback. How do you keep them active and in tune with what you guys are doing?
We get a lot of reps in practice. Cody Worley coaches our quarterbacks, does a really good job of mixing those guys in and rotating them in with the huddles. Pardon me. And giving them an opportunity to develop and get ready. And I assure you, both of those guys will be ready to go. And we talked about Cade Ballard in particular before the game, just that if something happened with the quarterbacks, that he was going to be a guy that was going to have to be in the mix. So those guys are ready. I think Cade has particularly practiced really, really well the last few weeks. Been very pleased with him, and those guys love each other and they love this team. So they're going to prepare and get ready. I don't know. I mean, when you're invested so deeply in something, and particularly other people that you care about, you're going to do your best, and you're always going to have yourself ready to go. And I think all of us can understand that for the people we love the most in this world, that we're going to be prepared and ready to serve them and do whatever they need us to do in our role, in our family, or in our business, or whatever. But this is more than just guys out there running around and having fun and playing a game. And it is that, but there's a great investment in each other and a commitment to have success together. And when there's a great commitment to each other and a love for each other, then those guys are going to be ready. And it's not just the quarterbacks. There's a lot of guys in the line at B-back that travel, and there's a lot of offensive linemen and defensive linemen and guys in the secondary, and there's specialists that work every day to hone their craft. They're ready to go because they care about this team. It's not about them. If it was about them, they'd be in the transfer portal tomorrow.
And then a question about Jacoby. Just give us your appreciation of what he's been doing this year, but just throughout his career, still no negative yardage plays. And he looked like he had a stronger game yesterday than maybe the week before.
He's a tough runner. He's just a really strong, big, tough guy with the football. He's got good feet. I mean, sneaky good in the hole where, he doesn't get tripped up. He's able to kind of see things and step around and step over some things. Coach Vitti does a really good job with all of those guys. He's a good runner, good player. I'm glad he's on our team. He's always a guy we can count on to get us a positive yard when we need it.
Is he as money as you've ever seen at that position?
Oh, he's a pretty good one. And we've had some good ones. There was a stretch there when I was coaching for Paul Johnson that every B-back we had, every one of them went to the NFL. It's just one after the other. He'd graduate, or we went to another school, and that guy go to the NFL, and the next guy took his place. He'd go to the NFL, and just one after the other. And so those guys were all good players. And again, I don't want to compare players. He's really good. When you don't have negative yardage plays, you're a good player at that position.
Thanks, Jeff.
We'll go one more for Coach. We'll close out with Ken Kreitzer.
Thanks. Coach, I just was going to ask you, you're at 5 wins on the season now. 6 had been the magic number for bowl qualification. Everything seems to be changing in college football right now. Is this just something Mike Buddy's going to have to work out when you get to 6 wins, or you get to December?
It work out in terms of what bowl game to go to.
Yeah, I mean, because I understand you don't have a tie into a game this year.
We do. We'll be in a bowl game this year. We have a tie-in with the Independence Bowl on even years, so 20, 22, and 24. And we've got an automatic bowl with ESPN. One of the ESPN bowls likely will be be the bowl game. We don't know which one, but we're confident we're going to get one.
Just got to get to 6. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.